Hi friends, welcome back. So yesterday, my wife and I celebrated my 49th birthday. And yes, you heard that correctly. I turned 49 years old. And the older you get, you'll know this as you get there. You're happy and thankful for yet another day to be alive and another birthday. And I want to share some tips with you guys on how to be healthy, how to stay young, because people always ask me about these kind of things. And moreover, if you haven't picked up a copy of my book, please do. I talk about this stuff and try to keep it positive with you. It's called Positive Angle. But anyway, today I just want to talk about some things to stay young and happy. So tip number one I have for you is that happiness doesn't require you to spend all your money all of the time. And the reason why I put it that way is because kind of the way that the youth culture / social media these days is they try to convince you that, the only way to be happy is buy lots and lots of Lambos. Lambos is the only way. And you drive around the city and say, see me, I have my Lambos, or, see me, I have my luxury handbag, luxury shoes, etc. I'm just telling you guys, it's not the case. My happiest times is just hanging out with friends, having a beer, having some conversation, playing board games. I like board games quite a bit, card games, etc. I'm just telling you, like, very, very simple things like that. It's when I look at social media and I see all these kids like, oh, you got to buy the Lambo, etc. For me, I look at that just a huge waste of money and taking away your freedom. Because essentially what you're doing, the more that you're putting money into things that go down in value, things that break, things that require lots of maintenance, etc., it takes away from your sort of future in terms of freedom. My personal advice to you guys in order to stay young is get your freedom as soon as you can, and that's essentially becoming financially secured to where you don't have to work if you don't want to. You can give your boss the finger, just leave, these kind of things, and then go do stuff that you really enjoy. And again, the happiness part, which I'm just sharing with you guys, my happiest times is just hanging out with friends. I mean, honestly, this is just the happiest times in my life, and I want to share with you. And sort of the video that I'm showing you guys today is my wife and I went out to lunch and just had some pizza and pasta and had some beers and had a lot of fun. And those are the happiest times, honestly. And I want to share some more stuff with you. So another thing that I encourage you to do in order to stay young and be happy and healthy as you reach an older age is try new things and keep learning new things. One of the things that I've learned throughout my life is change it up. Maybe every 10 years, go off and do something different. Some people, they work, really hard. They just, for example, become a dentist, become a doctor, become an engineer, whatever your career path is. And you do that for a certain period, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years or whatever. And suddenly you're like, you just know what? I want to do something else. I'm tired of doing said thing. And I give you permission to do that. Whatever that is for you, it is okay to change your direction in your life. Now, you don't necessarily have to do a major career shift in order to find happiness, but I will say if you have an itch for something that you want to pursue, scratch that itch, right? Pursue that thing, try it, try something new. Even if you're not, say, changing your career, take up a new hobby. So for some people, I'll just give you an example. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to ride a horse really well, or maybe you always want to learn how to ice skate. Maybe you always want to learn how to surf. Maybe you always want to learn how to drive a motorcycle, whatever it is, right? Maybe you want to learn how to build a computer or program and code. Everyone has different types of skills they want to learn. It could be art. It could be you want to learn how to paint. You want to learn how to draw. Any number of things. One of the things that I always find fun is just when you learn something new, it's kind of makes you feel like a child at school in a way where you come and you have some sort of instructor that teaches you something and you learn that. These days for me, one of the new things that I've been learning is doing yoga. My wife and I do that together, and it's fun. And actually, yoga is crazy good exercise. There's different types of yoga if you don't know. Some of it's more stretchy, some of it's more like aerobic, some of it's more like dance, etc. And that's just something that's been fun for me to try to learn all these new things. And so, now I can challenge myself in order to do that. Another thing you can do as well is not just learn new things, but push yourself a little bit further. I'm just talking about physical stuff right now. So say I go to the gym, I keep a record of how much I'm lifting, and I try to lift a little bit more each week, each month, etc. But essentially what you're doing is always mixing new things into the mix. Another thing that I recommend is sort of trying new things is eat new foods. That is one way to really keep your life fresh and sort of add something to your repertoire, and it's something I highly, highly recommend. Another thing that I really recommend to yourself as well, and this is kind of related on top of the food sort of situation, is keep yourself physically fit and also eat healthy food. So if you're putting in healthy things into your body and keeping yourself in shape, it helps you make better decisions and also keeps your life happier. This is something very real. I think a lot of people out there don't have positive ways to relieve stress, right? So for some people, and I'll just talk about a couple negative ways to relieve stress. We make jokes in movies when someone gets really stressed out. They go outside and they start smoking, essentially, like they're just like really stressed, and they're like, or other things like that, or drinking or whatever, right? Not so positive ways. Like positive ways to release stress. And this is actually real. Just like physical activity in terms of like exercise is like really, really healthy. Another one is sleep. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, not getting enough rest, like going to work every single day, that is really tiring and it's like really a hassle. Because one of the things that you want to be doing is like enjoying your life all of the time. I know for some people it's sort of like, okay, I do this just for money, and then I have my free time for myself, and then I enjoy that kind of things. But kind of the goal, and I'm just sharing with you, it sort of keeps me young, is like I've always enjoyed my work. And so, pick career paths and pick jobs that you enjoy, so you don't feel like that you're forced to go to something that you don't like and you just do it for the money. And then afterwards you can enjoy your life. But like you want to do something that you enjoy your life all the time. And sometimes it happens as well. Like I might enjoy a job in the beginning, and then afterwards I'm like, I don't want to do that again. And I give examples. So recently I quit the radio station, which you may or may not know. It was fun at first, but then after a while I just don't want to do it anymore. And time to move on to do something else and spend more time doing things that I really enjoy. And to be really frank, guys, I enjoy hanging out with you guys every day because I just have freedom. And I think that's one of the biggest things that sort of kept me young all these years is freedom. And freedom is a lot of things. It's basically doing what you want when you want, and essentially anything that you want. And it's going to be different for everyone what that is. But for me, like I said, my happiest times is just spending time with people that I care about, people I enjoy spend time with, and just having a beer. That's it. It's really that simple for me. Another thing that I want to emphasize with you is like in terms of like getting older and stuff like that is don't expect things to always be the same, and be okay to change. There's some people out there, and we talk about this on the channel a bit, but it is a very real thing for many like older people. They're like, oh, when I was a kid, it was XXX, and it's got to go back that way again. And if it doesn't go back that way again, I hate the world, stuff like that. Like things change, and it is what it is. You just got to kind of roll with the punches. And yes, sometimes I complain about the youth culture, etc., going for the worst. But you have to adjust to said things, right? It is what it is. Like today, all these kids are watching TikTok all day. What can I do about it? I'm not going to like stress about it all day, every day. I will complain about it. I'm keeping it honest with you. I think it's nonsense, but I try to, still put out positive stuff. And if that's what they're going to do, maybe the kids know something that I don't know about the TikTok. Who knows? But don't necessarily expect everything to be the same all the time. The world changes. The world moves on. Learn new technologies. Learn new ways of doing things. And, I guess what I'm trying to say, and I guess is the sort of a Bruce Lee kind of wisdom is be the water, right? So, as if you're trying to navigate the crazy world changing, essentially the water kind of floats around the trees. I think that's sort of, or flows. I think that's sort of how he said it, but be the water, right? Be flexible. You're still going forward, but you are going to be flexible in that. The other thing that I want to mention to you guys as well is don't limit your choices and your options for your future to just one city. And this is actually a big theme of my book. If you haven't read it, please check it out. But I'll just mention it to you guys. I've lived in so many cities. I can't even keep track. I'd have to sit down and like add them all up. But I've lived in like 5 different countries, multiple states in the USA. Well over 20, multiple countries and cities, etc. And one of the things that I've learned, like when I was young, I used to have this like whole plan, set out of like I was gonna do one thing and I'm gonna live this here and do this sort of life, etc. And as I aged and as I get more experience, like the options available to me and sort of the things that I thought about that I never thought about before really came into focus. Like just for example, let's say you never thought about, just for example, living in Australia, just for example, and then maybe you date someone from Australia and they start telling you about it, and then they take you back there and you visit Australia and you're like, oh my God, I really like it there, right? Just for example. Or maybe you meet someone from Switzerland and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go check out Switzerland, etc. Like travel opens your mind, and same with meeting different types of people. And when people ask me again, like say, hey Chris, how do you stay young? It's a combination of all of these things, like always keeping life fresh, always finding a reason to wake up, reason to smile, and again, keeping it as simple as possible in terms of like, I don't want to, you know, complicate my life by getting Lambos and then I got to fix the Lambo, park the Lambo, paint the Lambo, whatever, etc. like that. Just like, okay, I don't want to deal with that stuff. It's not worth it for me. And I'm only buying said thing to impress other people. It's just not worth it. And if at the end of the day, the most thing that keeps me happy, just for example, is hanging out with friends, drinking a beer, watching some sports, watching a movie, whatever, going to the beach, right? Going some exercise, etc. That kind of stuff. And I just wanted to think about for yourself, like, think about the happiest times that you've had in your life and figure out, okay, how can I have that happiest time all the time? And for me, the happy times are freedom. And the freedom is, again, doing what you want when you want and not having to, you know, go into that job that you really, really hate. So did you have fun?
Nah.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And I'll see you next time. Bye.